Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm the female mechanic, and in the first episode you saw basically what I'd bought for under £5,000, and it was this Porsche 911. So I showed you around potentially all the pitfalls that I've bought, all the good things, all the bad things, all the things that need fixing. And one of those things was the CV boot. So the outer CV boot on the front drive shafts on both sides had, one is definitely split. I think the other one might have a broken clip, but we're going to replace both sides on this car today. Now, it's actually an MOT failure on that, and the MOT is due soon, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing that work today. So I'll be showing you how I strip the front of the car, how we get the new ones, how we get the old ones off, cleaning the whole area because grease has got everywhere on this car. It's one of my least favourite jobs as a mechanic is CV boots. It's such a filthy, dirty job to get your hands on. So what we're going to do, take the old boots off, clean it all around, make sure there's no grease on the hubs, on the brakes or anything like that, put the fresh ones on, new clips, and then we can get it for its MOT. Now, the gearbox work hasn't been done yet either, so it still needs to be taken away and done for that to be completed, but we think we know kind of what is wrong with the gearbox, and it's not a cheap fix, but we'll get round to that in another episode where I cover exactly what the gearbox problem is. So for today, we're going to jack the car up, we're going to get the front wheels off, and we're going to start stripping those front drive shafts, and I'm going to get ready to put these new ones on. So let's get started. So as you can see, these are what we are replacing today. So look at all that grease everywhere. It has really got everywhere. So far we've got the drive shaft nut off. So that was a 32mm. I used this 32mm socket needed for that, and then also got the track rod end out, so that went up into that, and that was a 19mm that we used to get that out. So it's given us a bit more room, so you can see. Hopefully we'll have now enough room to get that drive shaft out and not have to take any more suspension out, but it remains to be seen. So we'll crack on now and see if we can get the Allen keys out of the inner drive shaft and go from there. Okay, so I've actually had to take out some extra bits. So a bolt that holds that arm in, we've taken that out. There's also like a cross, there's a bolt that goes in there that goes across here onto the chassis, so I've taken that out as well. So and also these Allen key bolts that held in this inner drive shaft onto the diff, you see that? Taken those out, so they look like that. Put them in the light a bit. So they're Allen keys, they are 6mm heads on those, so got those all out. So now the drive shaft should have enough room up there to get that all out now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to get this. So I've taken the boot off here, so where it was leaking everywhere. And there's nothing wrong with this boot. So this boot was the inner CV boot, but it's going to have to come off. To get the inner CV joint out, though, I had to remove this circlip here type thing. So that's sat on the end of the drive shaft. Once that was off, I could then hit the inner CV joint off. I'm going to take this off, and then I'll be able to slide the new boot on for the outer CV joint, and then put it all back together. So yeah, I'm going to do that now, and I'll show you the result. Right, so I have now got the new drive shaft boot on, the outer CV boot. As you can see, we've got all new clips, all new boot, so hopefully that should keep all the grease in. I had to take this boot off, so I put all new clips on this as well. So this is now all complete and ready to go in. So let's put it all back together again. So that's it, it's all done. I've replaced both outer CV boots on this car. As you can see, it's not the, yeah, I'm pretty dirty from doing this. The amount of grease that you have to clean out of these things, and because I had to take the inner CV joint out and remove the boot as well, there was just loads more grease than I expected. I mean, I've gone through so much blue paper towel, it's ridiculous. But it's all now back together. We've got the new outer CV boots, they're looking really good, they're really tight, so they should keep the grease in now for quite a while. Also, that was an MOT failure on the car, so now we have the car MOT ready, which is brilliant news, but it's still time to get the gearbox sorted now. It's off, it should be off tomorrow to have its gearbox had a look at and things like that. I'm not particularly confident that it's going to be a cheap fix, but when it returns, it will be out of MOT, so I will have to get it straight to the MOT centre and get that tested. Now, all in all, the outer CV boots cost me about £30 for the pair, which wasn't too bad. They came with the kit, so they had the actual rubber boots, the clips and the grease, so it was all complete, and all I had to do was put them on. It was about an hour to do each side. There was a fair bit I was supposed to take off, and as this car's quite high mileage, some of the bolts and things weren't the easiest to take off. Also, I'm not sure if the drive shaft has ever been apart, so the inner CV joint was quite stuck onto the shaft, so I had to knock that off as well. But I'd say about an hour each side. It wasn't too bad at all, actually. There's been some cars are a lot worse. So join me in episode 3 when I will get the car back, hopefully from the gearbox specialist, and we'll be able to take it for its MOT, and fingers crossed we get a pass first time. I can't see there being a problem, but you just never know. So thanks for watching, and join me in episode 3.